Good morning, friends. Welcome to Take Two for this Monday, the 26th of August, 2019. I'm Jeannie. I'm so glad you decided to come along for the ride this morning. Well, it's Monday, so we've got a big week ahead of us, and then we've got a holiday weekend at the end of it. So I hope that you make the best of the next few days that you have ahead of you, okay? And particularly that today is a really special day. Well, I'm glad Monday's here, and the reason why is because this was a particularly challenging weekend for me, starting on Friday. And I had to deal in the last, I would say 14, 15 months of my life, I've had to deal with a lot of loss. And this past Friday, we turned our radio station off. It ceased broadcasting on this past Friday. Ram FM doesn't exist anymore. And although we'll still be doing quite a bit of new things, we're going to be doing some YouTube programming and other things, and possibly outsourcing our talents for some other broadcast radio stations. Something about losing my baby like that was really, really challenging, and I might add, a little tearful and painful. And I'm glad to know that there were folks out there, some people, dear people we could depend on, that helped us break down the studio over the weekend and carry the equipment out. And there's just something about when we actually took the board and the speakers and everything and started disassembling and disconnecting and taking them out the door. That was really, really painful. And then took the desk and got everything off of it, turned it sideways and against the wall. My gosh, it was like, really, is this happening? I'm losing my baby. My radio station is gone now. And I started thinking about all the loss I've had to go through in the last several months, including my mother passing away. That was a huge loss. And then selling our family home that my parents built in 1956. And that's gone now, never to be ours again. And then now this. And in more recent days, my sister's pet, Dusty, who was a family member for 16 years, he passed away. It's just been so much loss. And it's just like, how much more loss do we need to take? You know, when it's gone, it's gone. And there's some things you absolutely can never, ever bring back again. I remember a story that my friend told me about. Her daughter, Kathy, was on her first wedding anniversary cruise with her husband, and they had gone somewhere in the Caribbean or Mexico or something, and they went out for the day, and they had a day outing where they went to a beach all day long, and they were at this beach, and she was wearing a beautiful gold and diamond necklace that her husband had just given her as a first anniversary gift, and she just loved it. She never wanted to take it off, so she wore it a lot, and she wore it on that cruise. Well, they got on the cruise, and she was wearing this, and then they went out to go do the outing, to do the excursion to the beach for the day, and she was in and out of the water all day long, and she was just having such a good time. And well, anyway, they got back to the ship, and she went to go take her necklace off to take a shower, and she realized it wasn't there. Somewhere in those vast turquoise waters, her necklace broke off or fell off and fell into the ocean to be lost forever and never be found again. Now, I don't know what could have happened to it. A fish could have eaten it, or it could have gotten buried in the bottom of the sea or snagged on a rock. Who knows what was the demise of that necklace, but she just knew that it was lost, never to return again. And it was painful for her because her husband had just given it to her, and it was not a nice thing to lose a diamond and gold necklace. Now, diamond and gold necklaces can be replaced, don't get me wrong, and losing a necklace certainly isn't the same as losing your business or losing your spouse or losing a parent or something horrible like that. Of course it's not the same, but loss is loss. And when she came to grips with the fact that she was never, ever going to see that necklace again, she was fine and got over it. And then I think he replaced it later on. But the point is this: sometimes it's not as simple as going to the jewelry store and buying another necklace. No, of course not, especially when it's something like this, pouring tens of thousands of dollars into a business and then it ending, or watching a loved one pass away before your eyes. Those kinds of things. Loss is hard, boys and girls. And here's another thing that's very interesting, is because when you're getting over one loss and then suddenly you're faced with a second or a third, then it will churn that back up again. And I found myself really, even though I'm working through my grief with my mother and I know I'll always miss her, I found that it churned it up, and I started having to go through part of that grief process again because I lost something that was near and dear to me, and it reminded me of losing a loved one who was near and dear to me. So how do we go forward with something like this, boys and girls? How do we do that? How do you go forward with loss like this? Well, the best thing to do is lean on those everlasting arms, and that's what I'm finding I really needed to do. I cried a lot at the altar yesterday at church, just having to give it up to the Lord and just say, look, God, I've lost things, but I know that when I'm in your hands, there's no safer place to be. I don't know, as the old saying goes, what the future may hold, but I know who holds the future. So I am trusting God like never before for all these new and next steps. But not only that, to work through my losses and to just look at it with the correct perspective. I could sit and have a pity party all day long. I could sit in the corner and say, oh, woe is me, I miss this one, or I miss this, or it's about me. I could do that all day if I want, but I think it would be much better if I put those losses and my grief and my sadness into the hands of the Master and let him walk me through. It's like those footprints in the sand, my mother's favorite poem. It's when I saw those one set of footprints, it's then I know that I was being carried. So if you're facing some losses in your life, or if you've had losses and something else is churning it back up and reigniting those grief and loss feelings in your heart, what you need to do is just surrender them and just look towards the future. That is what I'm going to try to do more and more. And let me tell you something else. As time passes on, it diminishes, and something may reignite it again later on, another loss, but just keep pressing forward and moving forward, and you'll be fine. I know I'm going to be fine as well. So now listen, go be a blessing to somebody today, boys and girls. You may end up being the only one who is. And if you know somebody who is going through a loss or a grief process right now, go and be there with them and say, you know what, me too. Let's do this together, and go be that encouraging arm around the shoulder. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is not going away, JeanneSigler, and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Give me a little thumbs up, will you? I appreciate every good thumbs up and every good word, okay? And you can put little comments in there as well, and send me messages if you like. All right, you have a good one, everybody. Have a great week. Don't look at it as loss. Look at it as a new beginning and a great future and a hope, okay? I love you all very much. I'll see you tomorrow for a terrific Tuesday. Bye-bye, everybody.